Call the regular city council meeting to order. Clerk, call roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mueller. Sapienza. Payton. Mayor Hall.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. We have no presentations. Clerk. We did the Pledge of Allegiance, presentations, public comment on any agenda items. There's no cards filled out, but if anybody wants to make a public comment on the agenda items, feel free to do that at this time. Anybody? Minutes, do I have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Do we have a motion to receive the financial reports and place on file?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to receive the several financial reports, place them on file. Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive the financial reports and place on file. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd just like to point out that the Electric Light Fund financial summary showed revenues over expenditures for the month of March in the amount of $227,929.50.
I'd also note that the general fund showed revenues over expenditures in the amount of $344,555.85.
I would make note that the revenue and expense report for the Water and Sewer Fund shows revenues under expenses in the amount of $30,675.71.
Back to the general fund, Alderman Radke, what was that number?
$344,555.85.
Okay, thank you. Any other funds for summary? Okay, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second. Is there anybody who would like to report on any of these funds?
Your Honor, I'd like to make note that the Water and Wastewater Treatment Plants Fund states that our total water produced was a little over 81 million gallons. On the wastewater side, at the East Plant, we treated a little over 110 million gallons, and at the West Plant, almost 37 million gallons.
Okay, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. That'll take us to Finance Safety Services, Chairman Putoff.
Alderman Radke, enlighten us on disbursements, please.
Yes, first thing, Your Honor, on the agenda tonight is disbursements. Total disbursements to be paid on May 4th, 2016 is $1,394,762.72. I move that this report be received, placed on file, and the bills paid in the usual manner.
Second, Your Honor. We have a motion and a second to receive the disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to seek bids for fire department roof repairs. Jeffy, anything you need to fill in on that, or?
Yeah, the roof has been leaking in several different spots. This roof's never been replaced since the building was new, so I'm guessing that it's going to be a full roof replacement. We're going to go ahead and put a bid spec together for it, send it out, and see what we come back.
Thank you. Another item.
Well, I don't have a second yet on that one. Okay, we have a motion to seek bids for fire department roof repairs. Is there any discussion? No further discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, last week with the special meeting, we did pass the budget process, and the budget is completed and was adopted. One of the main items, again, it's a balanced budget for the city of Peru, and presently the city's in a fine or good financial status. As you see later on in the agenda, there is an addendum to the budget, and what that addendum really involves is insurance for 7 of the generators for Caterpillar that we failed to place in the budget. Justin, could you comment on that?
I don't know if this. Okay. Actually, that's a different addendum. It'll come in a couple of weeks, so I don't mean to contradict what you said, but, the addendum is gonna be for the prior year's budget, and there's a attachment with the packet with all those that I do have to go through now or the ordinance.
Go ahead.
Tax rebates with the state, the way things were set up at the end of last year. Perfect. With the state, with the way that things were set up at the end of last year, with them getting us the detail to pay sales tax rebates, there was a large difference there. Additionally, moving through, we've settled with our TIF 3. There was a settlement with TIF 3, and we were able to pay out our funds that were earned through the last 4 or 5 years that weren't budgeted for because it was frozen at the point of the last budget. In the electric department, the public works building, obviously we weren't sure with the timing of it being built, so there's about $1 million adjustment there as well. Overall, it's an adjustment to lower expenditures, so that's always a good thing.
Anything else, committee members from Finance and Safety Services? Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Public Services, Chairman Waldorf.
Alderman Becky?
Thank you, Chairman Waldorf. Chairman Dave. This evening, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the Venture Drive realignment to the lowest responsible bidder, which is Universal Asphalt and Excavating, in the amount of $560,393.24. Engineer Carl's made a pretty extensive summary of quantities, and you want to add anything to that, Eric?
Yes, for this project, we had 3 bidders. The 2 low bidders competitive with a spread of about $18,000 between the 2. The project is a little bit over what we had anticipated, but right in the range, so not grossly over. I would recommend awarding the project. And then moving forward, we anticipate earliest expected start time is approximately about a month. We're working through finalizing a few utility easement agreements, and then if some of the utility relocates that have to take place in advance of the construction starting. Additionally, the city will be implementing full-time inspection on this with our city personnel. Our engineering technician, Eric Zabrowski, will be overseeing the job.
Thank you, Eric. That motion is made, Your Honor.
I have a motion and a second to award the Venture Drive to the lowest responsible bidder. Is there any further discussion?
Eric, is there gonna be any traffic pattern gonna be changing while this is going on? If so, we're gonna have to get the public informed.
So as we move towards construction, the project is constructed in 3 phases. The first phase being the widening and overlaying of 38th Street. And then the second phase, most of that construction takes place in the current Hobby Lobby parking area that we obtained right away from. And then the last phase is abandoning that southern portion of existing Venture Drive south of Steak and Shake. We will work to get notices out. Of course, there'll be extensive traffic control in that area. But I would expect similar to when we're milling and overlaying a project like you saw on 251 or Shooting Park Road, you'd expect similar traffic control.
Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Payton.
Motion approved.
Also this evening, Your Honor, we have a motion to authorize a well 9 repair, totals not to exceed $51,404, and I'll let take over that.
Sure. If you remember, we authorized about a month ago, I believe, $35,000 to pull and inspect well 9. We noticed a 10 to 15% decrease in water production. So it's just part of the normal chain of events whenever you recognize something like that, to take the well out of service. And typically you do that every 10 years, and it's been in service about 11. If you remember, this well is a large well. It's one of our large producers, about 1,500 gallons a minute, and it was about $1 million well back in the day, 11 years ago. There's an additional $51,404 worth of work. That's just basically, there's several, there's 63 feet of pipe that needs to be repaired, 9 couplings, machinists to bring that bowl assembly back to full capacity again, and then we have just a couple extras, 42 feet of new pipe to actually lower the pump down a little bit lower. In the last several years, we've actually done that on all of our wells just to kind of keep up. The aquifer's not going dry, so to speak, but every year, it creeps down a little bit, so we're just staying ahead of that. And then also a transducer that's going to allow us to keep track of the water level in our SCADA system and trend the conditions of the well and the aquifer and everything. So all in all, about $51,404 worth of repair work now. The original 35 was to pump it, pull it, inspect it, and that sort of thing. So this is the additional work to complete the job. And once this is approved, we would expect about a month to get all this work done and have the well back into service again.
So which one is well 9? Did you say that?
Well 9 is the one by Hy-Vee.
Okay, I have a motion, I don't have a second yet.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the hydro plant roof repairs to Adler Roofing and Sheet Metal Incorporated in the amount of $47,780.
Have a motion and a second. Discussion? Okay, we have roll call vote. Quick call roll. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you.
I was just going to note that we did receive 2 bids on this project, and I did verify both of the bids, specifically the low bid of $47,780, and talked with Kai, and we're both recommending to move forward with it.
Do you know, Eric, what the total square footage is that's going to be replaced?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
This one, as well as the next one, the resolution, go hand in hand. Anytime that we're doing maintenance work or repairs within the state highways, we still have to abide by their permit process. So we notify their local yard in LaSalle, and then also notify the permit division. And we'll follow up after the repairs are done to show that, in fact, that we did comply with all their standards. And then also we notify them in advance, or when we know that repair is needed, so that they can stop out and inspect the work if needed. And then, of course, we provide them with the permit after the fact, showing the materials and locations of where the repairs were made.
I'll second that motion.
Who made the motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved. Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to extend the warranties for the 7 Caterpillar generations, 5 located at Peru Electric Department and 2 located at the Peru Rail Substation for $29,656 each, for a total of $207,592. Just a little background on this. Each one of these engines is probably, $1 million each, I think they are?
That's correct.
Well, we paid $3.5 million in 11, I believe it was.
Okay. Well, anyway, they're out of warranty, and it's highly recommended from the manufacturer that we go with the extended warranty on these. And with some research that was done, Kai came up with this package, and I think it would behoove the city to go ahead and do this. Keep in mind that with these generators, we get $1 million a year from IMEA to have these. Now, the only time that they have been used is for test runs. We have not received a call from IMEA to start the generators and run them to supply additional electricity during peak times. But since we do get that money from IMEA to have them online, I think it's very smart for us to keep them in good shape.
Jim, too, is the generators probably provide pretty much backup power if need be for the entire city of Peru, at least from a residential standpoint, correct?
Right. With these 7 generators and the jet engine we have on Water Street and the old oil-fired generator down there, we can provide enough electricity, and of course with the hydro, we can provide enough electricity to keep the city, all of the residential and commercial businesses up and running, with the exception of the industrial. We couldn't do that, but so it's something that is very important to the city of Peru.
Is there any discussion on that? Let's see, I don't have a second.
I think with the $1,023,000 that the city receives every year, it's an economic necessity that we do have these under warranty, because for one thing, they're very expensive to repair at the cost, and also for another thing, without those running at full power, then we would lose or possibly lose a great deal of that money. So
We can't risk that. This is a one-time only, $207,000.
It's just a 5-year agreement.
5 years.
We paid up front, 5-year agreement, and, after 5 years, I have no idea if they'll even offer it again. I don't know, but this is 5 years. For instance, there's 7 engines, there's 4 turbochargers on each engine.
Your Honor, just to clarify, the $207,000 is the one-time deal. The next item is the 5-year maintenance with the oil changes that we have to do
Right.
just separately.
Right. But back to this, basically it's a bumper-to-bumper warranty. You've seen the picture, it has the whole generator just a turbocharger, that one sticks out. There's 4 of them on each engine, and they're roughly $20,000 per turbocharger, no labor, just the part. So, you can go through parts. Hopefully you don't use it at all, but you're gonna vote on buying the insurance for it, so. What? Justin?
I just wanted to add from earlier when Alderman Putoff was referring to the budget amendment for the current fiscal year. That is what we would be amending to at the next council meeting for the budget that was just passed. Since this came up late last week, we were unable to get it in the budget.
Right, this came up after the budget was totally prepared. It was a late arrival, but you couldn't put it off, so what are you gonna do? So you're gonna make an amendment to the budget.
in still placing that in the budget, you're still dealing with a balanced budget. So it's nothing that's going to upset the cart or put the city under undue financial stress with it. It's just a part of operations.
That's correct.
Okay, I still need a second. Alderman Lukosius, second. Alderman Sapienza? Okay, any further discussion? Okay, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to extend the maintenance contract for the 7 Caterpillar generators for 5 years as follows, each to be paid annually. 2016 will be $37,646. 2017 will be $21,553. 2018 was $22,106. 2019, $38,766, and in 2020 would be $23,261. The differences in these annual amounts reflect some complete oil changes and oil sampling, and obviously some greater scope of work for the years that there's higher numbers.
Jim, is the company themselves doing those maintenance contracts, Patton?
Patton Industries is doing the maintenance.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second, Your Honor.
Any further discussion? Call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Walder.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved. Anything further from public service?
Yeah, there's one other thing. Just like to announce that we did have a retirement in the electric department, Mr. Keith Studzinski, and I believe he had, 29 years. So thanks to Keith for 29 years of service to the electric department.
That's it? That's all? Okay, we'll move on. Report city attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
Yes, Your Honor, there's a joint hearing before the Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals on the petition of Martin Equipment of Illinois, requesting a text amendment to the zoning ordinance of special use and variances for property at 2901, 2931, and 2951 May Road in the city. The text amendment is requesting that in the M2 manufacturing district there be a new special use entitled Repair, Maintenance, Testing, and Sale of Construction Agricultural Equipment, and the petitioner is requesting that Martin be granted such a special use. And then number of variances. All members of the Plan Commission were present at the hearing except member Ballard, who had recused himself because he is employed by Martin Equipment. All members of the Zoning Board of Appeals were present except Brian and Gans. Greg Reesbrook stated he's construction manager for Visser Construction Company. He introduced site and elevation plans for the proposed new Martin Equipment facility to be constructed on the property. Jim Clenard of Chamlin stated that the petitioner is requesting the requested text amendment in an M2 manufacturing district, and this property be granted such a special use. Clenard stated the damaged and disabled equipment would be delivered to the property and parked outside, and many occasions will have to be partially disassembled outside to be able to fit into the building for repair. There are anticipated no repairs outside the building other than the extent necessary for the equipment to be broken down and be brought into the building. The petitioner at the site would sell both new and used equipment. Plan Commission member Lucas moved and May 2nd the proposed text amendment be favorably recommended to City Council, passed unanimously. Peterstadt moved, Basali second, the property be recommended to have such a special use, passed unanimously. In response to questioning from member Basali, Mr. Reesbrook stated the proposed facility will utilize 2 of the 3 lots, and the 3rd lot will be presently unimproved, but will be available for future expansion or possibly sale. Mr. Clenard then addressed the requested variance. The first variance was to actually remove the words junk, refuse, and equipment such that there will only be damaged or disabled equipment that would be brought into the site and partially possibly broken down to be able to fit into the building. So that was orally amended, their first request. The second request similarly would be just to allow the assembly and disassembly of equipment as necessary to safely enter the building. Peterstadt stated the words motor vehicle should be changed to equipment to better describe the activities that will be taking place on the property. The third request was the use of asphalt grindings in areas where equipment would be advertised for sale, waiting repair, or waiting pickup. Member Miller expressed concern about any leakage of oil and/or hydraulic fluid from damaged equipment. Mr. Ballard responded the asphalt grindings would become hardened and impervious within a short period of time. City Engineer Eric Carls and Member Mullen agreed that those grindings do become hard and create an impervious surface. Mr. Ballard stated the asphalt grindings would only be in the area shown on gray on the site plan. The balance of the parking lot would be concrete. Mr. Cronard then addressed the variance requesting no curbs and gutters. Everyone agreed with that finding, except there would be a monolithic curb parking lot area before the building, so you'd have a curb or a wheel stop in those vehicles that are parked to enter the building. With respect to landscaping, with the size of the equipment that's coming in, it doesn't fit well with some of the landscaping requirements, but there would be landscaping around the building at the entrance to the property, and there would be trees planted in the some of the green areas as requested by the Design Review Committee. For the sign variances, they would advertise Martin Equipment, but also they're the dealers for John Deere and Hitachi. Hitachi is owned by John Deere. The fencing, there would be 6 feet high chain link fence and also 8 feet tall slats in the back testing area. After they repair equipment, they take it out to their testing grounds and make sure it works properly, and that would have the fencing with slats to block visibility from traffic. The front entrance property would be closed and locked at night. The request for variances on the side yard setbacks was withdrawn because it is all one piece of property. They were thinking they needed setbacks for each lot within their property, but when 2 lots are developed jointly, it's a setback at the perimeter of the combined lots. So Mullen moved, Atkinson seconded, variances is amended, and excluding those who were withdrawn, be favorably recommended. The City Council passed unanimously.
Have a motion to approve the minutes as written and read?
So moved.
Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I just wanted to say just a simple matter that we do appreciate Martin Equipment locating the City of Peru because they had a lot of other choices, and it's a compliment to Peru's economic development team that they did bring them there and found a suitable site for them. But this can be a pretty significant tax boost for our city, and certainly that will help a great deal with development of that area.
Well, all their repairs and parts are sales tax. However, most of their sales of the large equipment are otherwise tax exempt because it's agricultural or construction, but it'd be a significant sales tax generator.
Anyone else?
It seems like there's a lot of interest in that whatever that is, northwest area of Peru, that Plank Road, that whole area is just, every week it seems like there's something going on up there.
That's one of 3 that will be happening very quickly. So,
Actually, with the announcement of Northern White Sands and the eventual improvements of Plank Road, I think it helped spur interest in that site.
any further discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Then the first ordinance grants that text amendment to have as a special use new section 12.03D8, repair, maintenance, testing, and sale of construction agricultural equipment. So that would be a text amendment to the zoning ordinance.
I'll make a motion that the ordinance be granted as read and written.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to grant the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
And then the next ordinance grants, this particular property, that special use, to allow the repair, testing, sale of construction agricultural equipment.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion and a second to grant the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius. Radke. Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
The next ordinance grants the variances as requested to allow the open storage of disabled or damaged equipment, waiting repair, to allow the disassembly of the equipment as necessary to allow safe entrance of that equipment into the building for repair, use of those asphalt grindings, the curbing and wheel stop, the landscaping, and the signage allowing John Deere and Hitachi together with Martin Equipment.
Do we have the motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
And then as Finance Officer previously explained, you have an ordinance amending the budget. That would be for the fiscal year May 1, 2015 that ended in April 30, 2016.
Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
The agenda next has an ordinance approving the acreage and impact fees, but when I looked at the original ordinance on that, that is automatically adjusted, those fees, by the increase in construction costs. So those are automatically adjusted on May 1 of each year. So that ordinance isn't necessary. The next ordinance is the ordinance amending Chapter 30, Cemeteries, that eliminates the perpetual care fund and the mausoleum perpetual fund, transfers those into a sub-account within the general fund cemetery, and it adjusts some of the fees.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that the ordinance be approved as written and read.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, it's ensured that those fees will only be used for cemetery purposes. Is that correct?
Well, they go into the general fund, but the general fund has the subcategories for the cemetery, so it's up to Justin.
Well, I think that's the general idea of the city council, is to use that, not to use it for any other purposes. Would be for the care, upkeep, capital of the cemetery.
Yeah, as with a lot of different sub-accounts of the general fund, we keep those separate, no different than how we handle motel, hotel, although there's a state statute behind that with a home rule grade. We could use that for anything. We choose to handle it properly as we will with this, and only spend on cemetery mausoleum expenses.
Thank you.
Any other questions on that or discussion? Okay, have a roll call vote.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
The next ordinance authorizes the execution of a pole attachment agreement with Ameren, Illinois company, and that would be to set a charge and application fee, if any, for Ameren to attach its facilities onto poles. Out of the number of poles presented, I think Kai Kaczynski was okay with all but 2 or 3 of them. The still unresolved issue on that are the charges that the city would impose for those attachments, and that's left open here, with the rates to be determined by Kai Kaczynski after consultation with the Illinois Municipal Electric Agency. Kind of wanted to get moving on this, but I don't know what, the agency spoke to Mike Kennedy actually again today, and he sent an email out to other IMEA members to see what their attachment rates are. Technically, it's supposed to be done through a procedure established by FERC, but we wanted to get some sense of what some of the rates are, and they're really all over the board. I mean, the first one that came back was St. Charles, and Commonwealth Edison's really putting it to St. Charles to use their poles, but Kyle's general thought was to charge Ameren the same that they charge us for their poles, but that rate study is coming back, and it should be in the $20 plus range per poles. We already have a pole license ordinance that establishments attachments, but I think that should be revisited to see where the rates are now.
Okay. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second? Any discussion? Have a roll call vote, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved.
Oh, and then you have ordinance amending the meeting times for the regular city council meetings to 7 o'clock instead of 7:30.
So moved.
Second, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Radke and a second by Alderman Putoff. Disapproving the ordinance amending the meeting times. And this is 6 o'clock for committee of a whole and 7 o'clock for regular meeting.
I think the ordinance just amends the regular meeting times, and I think the intention was that the committee of the whole then would be at 6 p.m. if we have one.
Right.
With the intention to try to hold the closed session till the end of the regular meeting if possible, to allow more discussion or public discussion at the committee of the whole.
Okay. It doesn't mean, though, that we can't start a committee of a whole at 5 o'clock if we need to, and have a closed session if need be from 5 till 6, and so on and so on.
Yeah, if there's something we need to discuss before the regular meeting, then yeah, I agree.
I think the idea is that we give the public consistent time that we can deal with any questions that they might have.
Who was the second?
I was.
Be effective for the 16th, our next regular meeting day, the 16th. Okay, any further discussion? A roll call, roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved. Right, okay, go ahead.
Next, we have an ordinance authorizing execution of a labor agreement between the City of Peru and Peru Professional Firefighters Local 4751 of the International Association of Firefighters for the period May 1, 2016 through April 30th, 2019.
I'd like to make a motion that the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I just mentioned that it's, the firefighters agreement is consistent with the other collective bargaining agreements, which you should receive a 2% increase, and in turn, the firefighters will pay a higher cost of health insurance premiums, which I believe goes up to 20% for the contract year. But it's pretty consistent with the rest of the collective bargaining agreements that we've had in place.
And it was all finished in one sit-down session, which was very, very good for both. Okay, any further discussion? A roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller. Sapienza. Peyton.
Motion approved. Any further ordinances, resolutions?
No, sir.
Unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? Jeff?
Can you hear me now? There we go. Okay, I just want to talk a little bit about the house down on 1815 Main Street. In the last council meeting, we awarded on 4/11/16 the demolition by Bames Brothers to take the house down. I did get back the information today from our environmental consultant. We do have asbestos in the house. We have 180 square feet of kitchen flooring, which is a bottom layer. And then we have 700 square feet of 9x9 floor tile, which was under the carpet. We didn't see. I got a bid back from the actual environmental contractor for the total amount to remove, dispose, get rid of, everything involved with it for $3,792. I recommend we go ahead with this contract. We've used them before to get rid of this prior so we can get this house demoed.
I think from being in close contact with the house, I think it certainly would be an asset to get rid of it. And I think, Mike, you're very familiar with that home, and it's certainly...
Do we have it now? I mean, a legal right?
We have the ability to knock it down.
No, we have a court order that we can raise it and then file a lien. But then to obtain the underlying real estate, you have to foreclose on that lien. This isn't like the Econo Lodge because they didn't have the number of years of rearage on utility bills and real estate taxes, so you had to go this route.
That was probably viable since there was like 15 million gallons of water that flowed through the place. It's probably pretty well let it down.
That's no kidding.
Jeff, is there anything else on the home on, I believe it's 12th Street? 13th Street that we've been working?
We're looking at that. Matter of fact, today, Josh and I went by there. I showed him this property. We're gonna do some more looking at it tomorrow. We're gonna go to the back. I guess there's some of the roofing starting to go in now. So I'm gonna we're gonna look at that and we're gonna talk to the bank that has it.
Yeah, from what the neighbors have been telling me and Jim is, it's really uninhabitable. I mean, no one could possibly ever counter living there.
Right.
It's impossible.
I agree.
So I hope we do take quick action.
I hate to pound on houses, but do you have any information? There's a yellow house on Rock Street, right south of the, what is, I believe, 10 Mile owns the, 1900 block.
Yeah, that's a Trellinger home. That
Put on Rock Street.
he's on the fly list. So he's got 3 of them actually. There's one up by Tony, up in the corner. Matter of fact, we talked about that one today. And there's another one, and I currently have letters out to him right now to get these addressed.
I just don't see any progress being made with that yellow house.
There's nothing being done. We went by it today, and the lawn needs to be. It's in pretty bad shape.
Last time I looked at it, and obviously through the winter, so.
And don't forget, we have demolition dollars that have been set aside for these properties. So it's not a matter of dollars anyway.
But they're on my list. So
Well, they need to renew new jobs.
yeah, we'll be working on them pretty aggressively.
Anything else on unfinished business? Then everybody, we talked about it at the committee of a whole. Eric's going to put out for, what was it, Eric? For the mausoleum repairs, the cemetery issues?
We're going to put out a request for qualifications for professional services to prepare plans for renovation plans. And then, once the renovation plans are completed, I'll take it from that point to the bid process and through inspection. And then we will also handle any site improvements at the cemetery that we decide to move forward with in-house.
Okay, anybody else, anything? New business? Any new business? Nobody? Petitions, communications? Nothing? Public comment, anybody? Mike?
I think Alderman Potock had about 10 years on the city council when that was built. Yeah, they've had, there's been roofing problems on that for a long time. And, the one of it was caused because of they had windows located at one time that leaked a great deal. And I think Doug remembers going back to the contractor and, legal problems with that.
Are the windows, they redid those last year?
Those were done last year.
Right. Let's see where we're at. Public comment, anybody else? Lois, Linda, Jim, Sue, Claire? Anybody? Jim, Mike, Lois, Linda, Sue, Claire? Okay. Closed session, no. Adjournment?
I'll make a motion, Your Honor.
Who's second? Alderman Radke? All in favor? Meeting adjourned.